Why good people obey dangerous leaders? They say bad leaders rise because bad people follow them. That is comforting. It is also incomplete, because history's most dangerous leaders did not build power using monsters alone. They used neighbors, workers, parents, teachers, soldiers, believers, ordinary people who still thought of themselves as decent. That is the uncomfortable part. A dangerous leader does not need everyone to be cruel. He only needs enough good people to obey before they fully understand what obedience is protecting. And if you think that could never happen to you, that belief may be the first crack in your defense. Because obedience rarely begins with evil. It begins with trust. A leader appears during confusion. A country feels humiliated. A community feels unsafe. A group feels ignored. A person feels powerless. Then someone enters with a simple promise. I can fix this. I can protect you. I can restore what was taken. I can punish the people responsible. I can give your pain a target. That promise can feel powerful when life has become too complicated. People do not always follow dangerous leaders because they love danger. They follow because certainty feels better than fear. A strong voice can become addictive when people are tired of doubt. The first stage is emotional relief. The leader names the problem. He speaks with confidence. He makes private frustrations sound public. He tells people their anger is justified, their fear is rational, and their suffering has been ignored for too long. That does not feel like manipulation at first. It feels like recognition. A person thinks, finally, someone understands what we are going through. This is where the trap starts. Before a dangerous leader can control behavior, he often controls interpretation. He teaches people what their pain means. Your life is difficult because they betrayed you. Your country is weak because they corrupted it. Your family is struggling because they took what belonged to you. Your values are under attack because they want to destroy you. The word "they" matters. It is flexible. It can point to foreigners, minorities, elites, critics, journalists, intellectuals, former allies, political enemies, religious outsiders, or anyone useful. The target may change. The function stays the same. A dangerous leader turns chaos into a story with villains. That story gives people relief because it removes complexity. No more messy causes. No more shared responsibility. No more uncomfortable history. Only one enemy. One mission. One leader brave enough to say it. Convenient. Because when the world is reduced to one enemy, obedience starts to feel like moral clarity. The second stage is identity. A dangerous leader rarely says, "Serve me." He says, "Join us." He offers people a role inside a larger story. You are not just angry. You are awake. You are not just afraid. You are loyal. You are not just following orders. You are defending the future. That transformation is powerful. Ordinary people want their lives to matter. They want their sacrifices to mean something. They want to believe they are standing on the right side of history. A dangerous leader uses that need. He makes obedience feel heroic. The follower does not experience surrender as surrender. They experience it as belonging, courage, patriotism, faith, discipline, or loyalty. Once obedience becomes part of identity, disagreement feels personal. Criticism of the leader becomes criticism of the follower. A challenge to the movement becomes an insult to the person who gave it their hope. That is why facts often fail. People are not only defending an idea, they are defending the version of themselves that idea created. The third stage is fear. Not always fear of the leader. sometimes fear of what happens without him. This is one of the strongest tools in the psychology of control. The leader paints the outside world as a threat. If we lose, everything collapses. If critics win, your family is unsafe. If outsiders gain power, your culture disappears. If you question us, you help the enemy. If you stay neutral, you betray the cause. Fear narrows the mind. It makes people tolerate things they would normally reject. When danger feels permanent, emergency behavior becomes normal. Rules can be bent. Cruelty can be excused. Rights can be suspended. Dissent can be punished. And good people may tell themselves, "This is not ideal, but it is necessary." That sentence has protected some of the worst decisions in human history. The moral danger is not always hatred. Sometimes it is necessity. People become willing to harm others because they have been convinced that harm is the price of survival. A dangerous leader understands this. He does not need followers to enjoy cruelty. He only needs them to believe cruelty prevents something worse. That is how moral boundaries move. Slowly. One exception at a time. At first, people accept harsh language, then public shaming, then social exclusion, then surveillance, then arrests, then violence. Each step is explained as temporary, defensive, or justified. By the time the damage becomes obvious, many followers have already crossed too many lines to admit where the road began. This is commitment pressure. People defend what they have participated in because honesty would cost them their self-image. If they admit the leader is dangerous, they must also ask why they helped him. That question is painful. So the mind searches for protection. It was complicated. We had no choice. The media exaggerated it. The victims were not innocent. The leader made mistakes, but his enemies were worse. These excuses do not always come from stupidity. Often, they come from shame. A person would rather defend a harmful system than face the possibility that they were useful to it. There is another force at work: authority. Humans are trained from childhood to respond to it. Parents, teachers, police, priests, commanders, judges, bosses, government officials. Authority creates shortcuts in the mind. If someone has the title, the uniform, the stage, the crowd, the language, or the confidence, people may assume competence before evidence appears. This is why dangerous leaders invest in symbols, flags, ceremonies, slogans, uniforms, badges, mass gatherings, official titles, grand speeches, historical myths. Symbols make power feel legitimate. They turn one man's ambition into a national, spiritual, or moral mission. The follower no longer feels like they are obeying a person. They feel like they are obeying destiny. That is a much harder illusion to break. A simple command can become sacred when it wears the costume of something larger. Then the leader begins to test loyalty. Small tests come first. Repeat the slogan. Defend the leader. Mock the critics. Ignore the contradiction. Attend the rally. Report the disloyal. Cut off the doubter. Accept the new rule. Nothing seems too extreme in isolation. But these small acts train the nervous system. They teach people to obey in public. They teach the group who belongs. They teach silent doubters what happens to those who resist. This is how conformity hardens. People look around and see others participating. They assume everyone else believes. Many do not. They are simply afraid to be the first person who stops clapping. That silence is powerful. A dangerous leader benefits when private doubt never becomes public courage. Each person thinks, maybe I am the only one uncomfortable. The crowd becomes a mask. Behind it, thousands of people may be waiting for someone else to speak first. But dangerous systems punish that first voice. They understand how important it is. One honest objection can reveal that fear was doing more work than belief. So dissent must be framed as betrayal. The critic is not concerned. The critic is disloyal. The journalist is not investigating. The journalist is an enemy. The former supporter is not warning others. The former supporter is bitter, corrupted, jealous, or weak. This tactic protects the leader from accountability. It also protects followers from doubt. If every critic is evil, then no criticism needs to be heard. Very efficient. Terrible for truth. Another reason good people obey dangerous leaders is social reward. Obedience brings approval. The group praises loyalty. The leader notices devotion. Friends admire commitment. Family members may feel proud. A person receives status for repeating the approved message. They feel brave for attacking the approved enemy. They feel morally clean because the group keeps applauding them. This social reward can be more addictive than people admit. Many will deny changing for approval while carefully watching how the crowd reacts. No one wants to believe they can be bought with belonging. But belonging is one of the oldest currencies in human behavior. Dangerous leaders spend it well. They make followers feel special. Not everyone sees the truth. Not everyone is strong enough. Not everyone belongs here. You are part of the few, the chosen, the loyal, the awakened, the pure. That identity is intoxicating. It gives people pride without requiring humility. It turns suspicion into intelligence. It turns cruelty into strength. It turns obedience into virtue. Once a person enjoys that status, leaving means becoming ordinary again. For some, that is harder than admitting the truth. There is also the problem of gradual corruption. Good people often imagine evil as a clear line. One day, you are decent. The next, you choose darkness. Reality is less dramatic. A person may start by laughing at a cruel joke, then sharing a rumor, then avoiding a targeted neighbor, then supporting a harsh policy, then justifying violence they once would have condemned. Each step is small enough to explain. The mind adapts. The unacceptable becomes familiar. The familiar becomes normal. The normal becomes necessary. That is how dangerous leaders turn moral discomfort into habit. They do not ask followers to abandon conscience all at once. They teach them to ignore it in manageable doses. The first time someone witnesses cruelty, they may feel shock. The 10th time, they feel tired. The 100th time, they may feel nothing. Repetition can numb the moral senses. That numbness is not neutrality. It is conditioning. A dangerous leader wants people exhausted, distracted, angry, and dependent on simple answers. A calm person can think. A frightened person reacts. A humiliated person seeks revenge. A lonely person seeks belonging. A confused person seeks certainty. A guilty person seeks absolution. A desperate person accepts shortcuts. The leader does not need to create every wound. He only needs to find wounds that already exist and attach his power to them. This is why dangerous leadership spreads fastest when institutions are weak, trust is broken, and people feel abandoned. When people no longer believe courts are fair, news is reliable, jobs are stable, leaders are honest, or neighbors can be trusted, they become easier to capture. The leader says, "Everything is broken." The crowd answers, "We already know." Then he says, "Only I can fix it." That is the dangerous leap. From diagnosis to dependence. Someone can correctly describe a problem and still be the wrong person to solve it. A manipulator often begins with truths that make the lie easier to swallow. He points to real suffering, real corruption, real hypocrisy, real fear, real resentment. Then he inserts himself as the cure. That is where people must be careful. Truth can be bait. A dangerous leader does not need every claim to be false. He only needs enough truth to make followers trust the direction he takes them. History shows this pattern again and again. A society experiences pressure. A leader offers identity. An enemy is named. Institutions are attacked. Critics are demonized. Loyalty tests begin. Violence is excused. Ordinary people adjust. Later, everyone asks how it happened. The answer is rarely one moment. It is a series of permissions. Permission to mock. Permission to dehumanize. Permission to ignore. Permission to obey. Permission to look away. That last one may be the most common. Not everyone becomes an active believer. Some people simply choose not to know. They keep their job. They protect their family. They avoid risk. They tell themselves politics is not their concern. They say silence is wisdom. Sometimes silence is survival. But when enough good people stay silent, dangerous leaders do not need universal support. They only need low resistance. Control grows in the space between private discomfort and public action. This is why moral courage is costly. It asks people to risk belonging, to lose status, to disappoint friends, to challenge family, to admit previous mistakes, to stand apart from the crowd before victory is guaranteed. That is why so few do it early. Everyone respects resistance after history proves it right. Almost no one enjoys being the first person called disloyal. The first resistor often looks unreasonable, too dramatic, too sensitive, too negative, too suspicious. Then years later, society calls them brave. Convenient timing. So what protects people from dangerous leaders? Not intelligence alone, not education alone, not kindness alone. The protection begins with humility. The ability to say, "I can be influenced." That sentence is not weakness. It is armor. A person who knows they can be manipulated watches more carefully. They do not treat loyalty as proof. They do not confuse confidence with truth. They do not let fear choose their heroes. They ask what a leader does with power, not only what he promises to do against enemies. The second protection is attention to language. Dangerous leaders often change the meaning of moral words. Cruelty becomes strength. Obedience becomes patriotism. Doubt becomes betrayal. Fear becomes wisdom. Violence becomes justice. Control becomes protection. When language is twisted, behavior follows. If you want to know where a movement is going, watch what it teaches people to call acceptable. The third protection is the treatment of critics. A healthy leader can answer hard questions. A dangerous one needs enemies. He does not merely disagree, he destroys credibility. He makes followers afraid to listen. He turns accountability into persecution. That is a warning sign. The fourth protection is the permission to leave. Any group, leader, ideology, workplace, church, movement, or relationship that punishes departure should be examined carefully. Real truth does not need a locked door. Real loyalty is not built by threatening people who walk away. The final protection is memory. Do not judge a leader only by today's speech. Track the pattern. Who gains power? Who loses rights? Who is blamed? Who is silenced? Who is protected? Who is punished for telling the truth? Dangerous leaders survive by making each event feel separate. History reveals the sequence, and sequences tell the truth that speeches hide. Good people obey dangerous leaders when fear becomes stronger than judgment, when belonging becomes more valuable than honesty, when identity becomes tied to obedience, when cruelty is renamed as necessity, when silence feels safer than resistance. The frightening lesson is not that ordinary people are secretly evil. The lesson is that ordinary people can be guided into serving evil while still believing they are protecting good. That is why the pattern matters. Because dangerous leaders do not only ask people to follow them, they teach people to stop trusting the part of themselves that knows something is wrong. The story ends here, but the pattern does not. This is the Control Files.